Hello and welcome to what's in this week's Oban Times with me, Finn Nixon.
And me, Sandy Neal.
Here at the Oban Times we are always happy to hear your news and see your photographs. You may have noticed that we have been posting an image every day on our Instagram account, so any contributions which we can add to our gallery of your adventures in Argyll are very welcome. But what's coming up in this week's newspaper? Well, we hear about pupils from Oban High School who got the opportunity to be scientists for the day at SAMS. There's also good news for Mull, where 2 projects have been chosen to each receive funding that is in the 6 figures. This is part of a Scotland-wide investment in neighbourhoods. I've also been finding out about a minor road that has been closed near Tainault. I actually drove this road the other day in the dark to see what it was like, and it seemed to go on forever. Have you ever driven the Glen Lonan Road, Sandy?
Not for a long time, but I know roads like it, and you always feel a little bit sorry because you know the scenery is spectacular, but it's dark. I mean, how did you find it?
It was good. I obviously didn't know the road, and there was occasional bits where you thought the road was just going to end and you were going to fall through the air into nothingness. But it was an adventure. It was good. I believe there's more road closures that you've maybe got some
Yes, beat more road news. The A82 between Tarbert and Crianlarich will close over 9 nights in February, so you can find out the exact dates and details in the paper and online at obantimes.co.uk.
So that will cause probably a bit of disruption. I believe with the Glen Lonan Road it's popular with cyclists, so that might cause a bit of disruption for them as well. In other news, there was a training day at the Dalmally United Auctions March for prospective shepherds, and it proved a success. You can read about that in our farming section. And we also have an update on another day of teachers' strikes, which will disrupt Argyll schools next week. Don't forget, you can read all these stories and more at www.obantimes.co.uk or by picking up a newspaper in local shops and garages from Thursday onwards. But what stories have you been looking into for us, Sandy?
Well, Finn, do you remember when you returned empty glass bottles and got back 5p, 10p, or even 20p? Well, if you're, not of the vintage that I am, the old days are set to return. When the Scottish Government's new deposit return scheme starts this summer, people will pay a 20p deposit when they buy a drink that comes in a single-use container made of plastic, steel or aluminium or glass. But they will get their money back when they return the empty container to one of tens of thousands of return points. Sounds simple. But West Coast businesses have slammed this revolutionary drinks recycling scheme, calling it a catastrophe for the industry. Find out why. An Islay councillor says the Scottish Government's plan to restrict alcohol advertising is an Orwellian overreach, which could devastate the island's distillery visitor centres. So there's lots of legislation coming out that's going to impact the hospitality sectors. Parents could be asked to deliver safe school crossing services in Argyll if the council cuts crossing patrol posts to plug its budget gap. The compensation CalMac paid out to customers soared 4-fold over the last 4 years, according to a Freedom of Information request. A local MSP says the ferry fiasco has left islanders with chaos, cancellations and delays, while taxpayers foot the bill. Transport Scotland said the vast majority of cancelled sailings related to weather impacts. A public appeal has been launched to urgently raise funds for the historic paddle steamer Waverley to afford dry dock fees and sail in 2023. The Waverley is a familiar sight as it pops into Oban every summer. Inspire Inverary is overjoyed by a £30,000 grant from the Scottish Government as its dream to buy and restore Inverary's historic pier comes closer to reality. And also there's more 4G mobile phone coverage, but will it be you? Over to you, Finn.
Thank you, Sandy, and you can read all these stories and more at www.obantimes.co.uk or by picking up a newspaper in local shops and garages from Thursday. And don't forget, if you have a story, get in touch. You can call us on 01631 568 000, email editor@obantimes.co.uk or message us on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. That's it from us this week, though. So it's goodbye from me, Finn Nixon.
And it's goodbye for me, Sandy Neal.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, hey.